Imagine waking up tomorrow with no supermarkets, no farms, no restaurants. If you wanted to eat, there would be only one choice. You would have to hunt. For hundreds of thousands of years, that wasn't just an option. It was the only way many humans stayed alive. Every meal depended on skill, patience, and a little bit of luck. One mistake could mean going hungry for days, or becoming the prey instead of the hunter. But humans had one incredible advantage. Unlike the fastest animals, we weren't born with sharp claws or powerful teeth. We had something far more valuable, the ability to invent. From simple sharpened sticks to powerful modern firearms, hunting tools have evolved more than almost any other technology in human history. Every new invention made hunting safer, more efficient, and more accurate. So, how did we go from throwing rocks at animals to using precision-engineered firearms? Let's travel back thousands of years and discover the incredible evolution of hunting. Our story begins long before cities, kingdoms, or even farming. Early humans lived in a harsh and unpredictable world. Every day was a struggle to survive. They gathered fruits, dug up roots, and searched for anything edible. But plants alone couldn't always provide enough food. Meat offered valuable protein and energy. The problem was that humans were physically weaker than many of the animals they hunted. A deer could outrun them. A wild boar could seriously injure them. Large predators were even more dangerous. At first, people relied on whatever they could find. Heavy rocks became simple weapons. Sharp stones were used to cut meat and skin animals. Strong wooden branches were sharpened into crude spears. These early weapons worked, but they forced hunters to get dangerously close to their target. Imagine trying to stand only a few meters away from a frightened animal weighing hundreds of kilograms. Every hunt was a huge risk. Then came one of humanity's first great inventions, the spear. By attaching a sharp stone point to a long wooden shaft using animal sinew, plant fibers, or tree resin, early humans created a weapon that could strike from a safer distance. It wasn't perfect. Hunters still had to get close enough to throw it accurately. But compared to using bare hands or stones, it was a major step forward. As people gained experience, they learned something important. Hunting wasn't only about strength, it was about teamwork. Groups worked together to surround animals, drive them toward cliffs, or trap them in narrow spaces where escape became difficult. Planning and cooperation became just as important as the weapons themselves. Then, thousands of years later, another revolutionary invention changed everything: the bow and arrow. Instead of throwing a spear with the strength of their arms, hunters could now store energy in a bent piece of wood and release it in an instant. For the first time, people could hunt from much farther away. Animals had less chance to escape. Hunters faced far less danger. The bow quickly became one of the most successful hunting tools ever created. Different cultures improved it in different ways. Some crafted longbows for powerful shots across open fields. Others developed shorter composite bows that were perfect for hunting in forests or while riding horses. No matter the design, the principle remained the same. Greater distance meant greater safety. As civilizations expanded, people also began domesticating animals and practicing agriculture. Hunting was no longer the only way to survive, but it remained extremely important. Wild game provided food, clothing, and valuable materials like bones, antlers, and hides. In many societies, skilled hunters earned great respect. Then history took another dramatic turn. Around the 9th century, a remarkable discovery in China would eventually transform hunting forever: gunpowder. At first, gunpowder was used mainly for fireworks and simple weapons. Over time, inventors realized that its explosive force could launch a small projectile at incredible speed. The earliest firearms were crude and unreliable. They were slow to load, often inaccurate, and sometimes dangerous for the person using them. Even so, they introduced a completely new idea. A weapon no longer depended on muscle power alone. As technology improved, firearms became stronger, more reliable, and easier to use. Matchlock muskets appeared first. Then came wheel-lock designs. Later, flintlock firearms made hunting much more practical by creating sparks that ignited the gunpowder. Hunters could now bring down larger animals from greater distances than ever before. The invention of the percussion cap in the 1800s made firearms even more dependable. Misfires became less common. Loading became faster. Accuracy continued improving. Soon after, repeating rifles allowed several shots without completely reloading after every shot. This was another huge leap in hunting technology. By the late 1800s and early 1900s, smokeless powder replaced traditional black powder. Firearms became cleaner, more powerful, and far more accurate. Advances in metalworking also produced stronger barrels and more reliable mechanisms. Hunters now had equipment their ancestors could never have imagined. The 20th century brought even more innovation. Precision manufacturing created highly accurate bolt-action rifles. Shotguns became popular for hunting birds and small game. Optical scopes allowed hunters to place careful shots from much greater distances. Modern materials reduced the weight of firearms while increasing their durability. But hunting itself also began to change. For thousands of years, people hunted because survival depended on it. Today, in many parts of the world, hunting has different purposes. Some communities still rely on it for food. Others hunt as part of long-standing cultural traditions. In many places, hunting is carefully regulated to help manage wildlife populations and protect ecosystems. Strict seasons, licensing systems, and conservation rules are designed to balance human activity with the health of animal populations. Modern hunters also have access to equipment that ancient people could never have dreamed of. Lightweight clothing keeps them warm in freezing temperatures. Rangefinders measure exact distances. GPS devices help them navigate remote landscapes. High-quality binoculars allow them to observe animals from far away. Yet despite all these technological advances, one thing has never changed: patience. A successful hunter still needs to understand animal behavior, recognize tracks, read the wind, and remain calm under pressure. Technology may improve the tools, but skill remains just as important as it was thousands of years ago. Looking back, it's amazing to see how far hunting has come. It began with little more than rocks picked up from the ground. Then came sharpened sticks, stone-tipped spears, the bow and arrow, early firearms powered by black powder, modern rifles built with advanced engineering. Each generation improved on the ideas of the one before it. Each invention made hunting a little safer, a little more effective, and a little more precise. In many ways, the history of hunting is also the history of human innovation. It shows how curiosity, creativity, and problem-solving helped our ancestors survive in a world filled with challenges. Without those early inventions, human civilization might have developed very differently. The next time you think about humanity's greatest inventions, don't just picture giant machines or modern technology. Remember the simple stone picked up by an early human long ago. That first tool started a journey that stretched across thousands of years, leading from the earliest hunting weapons to the advanced equipment we know today. And behind every step of that journey was the same goal that has driven humans since the beginning of time: to survive, to adapt, and to keep moving forward.